On to some breaking updates coming in, viewers, at this hour. Prime Minister Narendra Modi have now tweeted and paid his tributes to those courageous soldiers and security personnel who were martyred in the Handwara encounter late last night. He has stated in his tweet, and I quote, that tributes to our courageous soldiers and security post personnel martyred in Handwara, their valor and sacrifice will never be forgotten. They served the nation with utmost dedication and worked tirelessly to protect our citizens. Condolences to their families and friends. This is the latest tweet coming in from the Prime Minister himself, paying his tributes to the courageous brave hearts who lost their lives and were martyred in the Handwara encounter. There were 5 brave hearts from the Army and Jammu and Kashmir Police that were martyred in Handwara during an encounter last night. And the Prime Minister has also now tweeted and paid his tribute for the courageous soldiers and security personnel who were martyred in the Handwara attack. We'll go across to my colleague Zeenat, who's also joining us over the phone line. Zeenat, this latest tweet coming in by the Prime Minister himself. He's paying his tributes to the courageous soldiers and security personnel who were martyred in the Handwara encounter.
Yes, the tributes are coming from across country. We are seeing the Prime Minister Modi tweeting and paying the condolence to the family and remembering the soldiers who lost their lives in the honor of country. In fact, there had been a tweet also coming from Defence Minister Rajnath Singh. I'll tell you about the encounter. This was an encounter of around 18 hours in Chunkiwal, Handwara, where 2 terrorists were neutralized by 21 RR along with SOG Handwara and CRPF. But in this operation, anti-militancy operation, there had been a casualty from the security forces side, because 2 army officers, two army officers, and along with the army soldiers, and 1 sub-inspector of Jammu and Kashmir Police lost his life while neutralizing the terrorists. In fact, if you remember, there had been a press release coming from the army itself in the morning, where they cited that these terrorists tried to keep their civilians, the inmates of the house, hostage, and they were freed by these brave soldiers. But at the same time, they lost their lives while killing these terrorists. There had been an encounter in Handwara since yesterday that had been going. In fact, the operation was kept on hold yesterday because of the prevailing weather conditions. It was raining. But despite that, we see that there had been the neutralization of 2 dreaded terrorists. We are picking from the sources that one of the military terrorists who had been neutralized in today's operation is a foreign terrorist, and another one is a local terrorist. But yes, this was a huge encounter for the army as well, because 2 militants have been neutralized, and also huge volume of arms and ammunition have been recovered from the encounter side. Some time back, there had been a recent summit. IG Kashmir, Vijay Kumar, in fact, the sector commander, and also the DIG North Kashmir was very much present in the retreat. They paid their tributes to these brave soldiers. In fact, in Handwara, we are seeing not only the mourning is coming from the army campus, but at the same time, the civilians of that area.
Right. In fact, Zeenat, stay with us. We also joined by Brigadier V. Mahalingam joining us over the phone line. Thank you so much for talking to Republic TV. We are seeing tributes pouring in for these brave hearts who lost their lives in this encounter in Handwara. Your sentiments at this point, sir?
It's a very sad thing to happen. In fact, this is a classic example of an officer leading by example. Epitome of courage. The commanding officer need not have gone in at the assault stage. But in this particular case, the commanding officer decided to go in like any.
All right, we'll fix that audio and go back to the Brigadier. But tributes are pouring in. The Prime Minister himself has tweeted and stated that he has tributed the courageous soldiers and security personnel martyred in Handwara. Their valor and sacrifice, he states, will never be forgotten. They served the nation with utmost dedication and worked tirelessly to protect our citizens, and condolences to their families and friends. In fact, we are joined back by Brigadier V. Mahalingam. Sir, as you were rightly stating, we will not forget the sacrifice made by the 5 martyrs who died while fighting the Pakistani terrorists in Handwara, Kashmir. Please continue.
Absolutely. The soldiers, as also the sub-inspector of the police, have really sacrificed for a very, very noble cause of rescuing the civilians from a hostage situation. They need not have done this. They could have just kept quiet over it, and then even if they had been killed, they could have just gone off and said they were killed by the militants. But the very fact that they risked their lives and then went ahead and cleared the operations and also rescued the civilians talks volumes. And I must tell you, yesterday when the operations were on, the weather was terrible. In fact, it was raining, there were thunder showers, and that was the type of weather that was on when the operation was undertaken. And so, as far as the men are concerned, I am not aware how many children they have, how many of them are married or not married, but my condolences go to every single family member of the families. It is very unfortunate that these people had to lose their life. But let me tell everyone, and including their family members, that the country is not going to forget these people and the sacrifices that these people have made for the country. The people of J&K must realize at this moment that the Indian army, despite the risks to themselves, risks to their own lives, they make sure that the civilians' lives are protected.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you so much, Brigadier Mahalingam, for joining us here on Republic TV. Certainly, the nation has united to salute these 5 martyrs who died fighting the Pakistani terrorists in Handwara, Kashmir.